everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole, and today we are here for my April TBR video, but this time it's a little bit different because I've decided to join the Magical Readathon by Book Roast. So let's get started. Well, good morning. Good evening everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the books that I want to read this month, and the month being the month of April. So April rolls around, and that can only mean one thing. It is the spring equinox for 2023 from the Magical Readathon. Now this is hosted every year with 2 times a year, and there's some other stuff that goes on as well by Book Roast, and I've been watching it for since I started on Booktube. Really, it was probably one of the first things that I was watching, and and I didn't really know how to go about it or anything like that, so I've been sitting on the fence for quite some time. But this year I decided to bite the bullet because I was suffering from a little bit of FOMO, so I spent this week learning how to set it all up and everything like that. Now G has a really good video which is called, I think it's called Magical Readathon 101 or Orillium 101. I cannot remember off the top of my head. Let me just see if I can see it. Beginner's Guide to Magical Readathon, step-by-step instructions to start your Orillium journey, and she goes through it very much in detail because I was a little bit confused. I thought I had to start way back when it started, and that was not the case at all. So I went off and watched that video, created my character, worked out what my calling was, and now I'm sharing the books that I'm going to be reading for the month of April with you for that, and also some other books that I've got as well. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to get into is the Magical Readathon books that I'm going to be reading. I have my syllabus, which are the book prompts, or what books I've got to read, and I have my prompts, and I'm doing Master of Elements. I've worked out my character and all that sort of stuff, but yeah, I didn't print it out or anything like that. But anyway, I've done all the things, and I've worked out what I'm going to be reading, and I have a pile of books here. All right, so for the Master of Elements, I have 6 classes, and so that means that I will have 6 books, and I'm going to start off with my first class is Elemental Studies. Now let me just grab the syllabus because I'm still getting used to this. And Elemental Studies is Botanical Controls, and the prompt is a flowers on the cover. So I went hunting on my bookshelf and I found The Shadow Man by Helen Fields. It's definitely got flowers on it, and this one is he collects his victims but he doesn't keep them safe. So I don't want to sort of read too much about it. It was a book that I got, I believe I just picked this up from one of the shops here. I may have got it in a Book Roaster box. I don't remember, and I haven't marked it in the front. Normally I write in the front if it's from a Book Roaster box. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I'm not going to go into huge details because obviously I'm going to review these all on my channel. So that is, you don't see him, but he's there. So that sounds a little bit creepy. So I'm looking forward to that one. The next prompt is shape shifting. That was my shape shifting form is wolf, and so I needed to find a cover, a wolf on the cover, or a title, or the author's name. So I got this one in a Book Roaster box, I think last year, maybe the year before, when I first started getting them. It's been sitting there for a while. It is The Wolf Border. It's by Sarah Hall, and this was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize, and it was published, let me just find that out, because this was published quite some time ago, 2015. So that is it there. It's also got a wolf on there as well. And let me just see, for almost a decade, Rachel Kane has turned her back on her home, kept distance by family disputes and her work with wolves in Idaho on a Idaho reservation. Words today. But now summoned by eclectic Earl of Annandale and his controversial scheme to reintroduce the grey wolf to the English countryside, she is back in Back in the Peat and the Wet Light of the Lake District. So it sounded a little bit interesting, so I thought, why not? I don't have this on audio or anything, and as I said, this has been sitting on my shelf for quite some time. It was also on my shelf for Read Around the World challenge, and I believe this is for Scotland. I believe she is, let me just have a look. Does it say in here? It might have just been on there because that's the only shelf it fitted on, but no. She was born in Cumbria in 1974, and I think I picked this one because it was set in Scotland, and so that's why I've picked it. But anyway, I will have to find another book for that prompt now. But that's the book that I'm going to read for that one. All right, let me just find somewhere where I can put these books where they're not going to get in the way. Okay, so my next one is Animal Studies. And for Animal Studies, we had to flip a coin. I thought I pressed record when I flipped the coin. I didn't. So, but anyway, I flipped Heads, and that is a non-fiction book. That it was Heads is non-fiction, Tails was fiction. I flipped Heads, so I thought I've had this on my list for a while, so I just went and stole this from my daughter's bedroom. I'll have to put it back, otherwise I'll be in all sorts of trouble for going in there, but she's at work. So I'm glad my mum died. I've had it on my radar for a while. I just haven't had a chance to read it, so I am definitely going to be reading it this month. All right, the next prompt is astronomy. And astronomy is the eclipse effect is the course focus, and I needed to find a book with 2 E's in it, and so I went with another one that I got from the book grocer. This was the Advent one I got, The Ice. So The Fight for the North Pole has begun, and it is by John Carr Rake, and it is apparently a claustrophobic thriller. So and it's action-packed and all the rest of it. So I'm pretty excited to read that. I love it when I can pull all the books off my shelf and I can read them. So Anna is on a scientific expedition to the North Pole when the pitch black of the polar night is lit up by a distress flare, a vision from a nightmare. There's a killer. She races to find the murderer before he gets to her. So it's basically a thriller. As I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail, otherwise we'll be here all day. So I'm looking forward to reading that one as well. All right, the next prompt is conjuration, and that is focusing on spirit binding spells. So I needed to read a book that is recommended by a friend, and my friend Chrissy, who has been hassling me to read J.D. Peacock, and you would have probably seen that when I was talking about them in my recent book haul. So I am reading a book that I got from the recent book haul, which was that Bookarama that I went to, and Mercy is the one and I'm going to go for. So I don't know what it is about. It just says here, what would you do for someone for love? Would you lie? Would you leave? Would you kill? Jodie Peacock confronts these powerful issues in Mercy, which follows the path of 2 cousins driven to extremes by the power of love. So it sounds like an interesting book. Sounds like a little bit of a thriller as well. I don't know much about this author, so this will be the first one that I'm reading by her. So that's exciting as well. And the last prompt is for restoration, and restoration was to occult cures, and that basically was to close your eyes, shuffle, and point. Now, I didn't shuffle anything. I just closed my eyes and pointed, and I spun around a couple times and then pointed. So that was my shuffle, and I ended up pointing to Witches Get Stitches, which I'm pretty happy with because it's the 3rd book in a series that I've got, and this is by Juliet Cross, and I've been having a lot of fun reading this series. I've read the first one, which was Wolf Gone Wild, and the second one was Don't Hex and Drive, and I've got my thoughts on Hex and Drive in the next reading vlog that goes up, because I was reading that, so I was pretty excited to get this, a luck of the draw, I guess. And so I was like, yay, I'm super happy about that. So they are the classes that I'm taking. and the books that I'm reading for those classes. So I'm really excited to be participating for the first time. But as per usual, I have more books that I am also reading in the month of April. So I have the next volume of Middlemarch, which is the third volume that I'll be reading. The continuing on with the Count of Monte Cristo with everybody over in my Discord, and Pickwick Papers will be moving on to the next section of that, which I think is another 30 pages of that. We're just reading that super slow as it was originally published. And this month I'm also starting Anna Karenina in my classics. So I have been wanting to read this for a while. I got this copy from a book exchange around October last year, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't want to read what it's about. I've just heard a lot of people really like this book. Other people say it's problematic, so I don't want to read the blurb or anything like that. I'm just going to go into it completely blind. I sort of have a rough idea what it's about, but if I had to recall that information, I don't think I'd be able to. But anyway, I'm going to go into it completely blind. We're going to read little by little. This is the next book in the Serialised Book Club. I've had a couple of emails from people asking about the Serialised Book Club. If you have to read all the books, the answer is no. You can pick and choose what you want to do. These are books that I want to read, and I'm just dragging some people along for the ride. Yes, it is another Chunkster book, but I'm pretty sure that you're used to seeing that size book on my channel by now. All right, the next one that I am going to be reading is another group read. It's called The Silent Patient by, what was his name? Michael someone, is it? Last name was Michaelides. Okay, so it's by Alex Michaelides, and it is called The Silent Patient, and this one was picked by Chrissy. She won the spin of the wheel this month, and this was her pick. So I actually have this on audio, so I'm going to listen to that one. That's what the cover looks like. It's been around for a while. There's actually a few book clubs that I follow are reading this one this month, which is quite interesting, and there's a lot of people that have already read it as well, but there's a few of us in the group that haven't, so we will be participating in that. And thank you, Chrissy, for being part of the Discord members wheel pick. I really appreciate that. All right, the next one is a craft read that I am doing. It's my crafting group's read along for this year, but you can also join in as well. We are up to book 4. It is the Stitches in Crime series by ACF Bookends, and basically it is called Counted Corpse. So it's just a cozy mystery. There's only about 200 pages in these. I usually burn through them pretty quickly. And I'm probably going to read that this week. I try to get all of my group reads out of the way for the beginning of the month, and then that way I can participate with everybody as they come into the Discord and everything. I would like to also apologise to my Serialised Book Club members. I have been crazy busy reading the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. I have finally finished that, so I am going to be definitely catching up on all of my thoughts and comments and everything over in our Discord, and all of that information is down below, so don't forget to come over if you're interested in doing any of our group reads. Come on over if you're interested in being part of the members Discord members pick each month. There is a post in the general comments, general chat I think it is, or maybe announcements, I'm not too sure, but anyway, it's all linked up down below. Come over, join our Discord, and put your name down, and I'll add you to the wheel, and then you might get to pick next month. All right, will have 4, I believe, prompts. Let me just have a look. Sundays. How many Sundays do we have in April? I have 5 in April. So I have another book that, the last book in the first round of the Bingo Challenge, which is this one. Okay, this is part 2. I actually started reading this and then realized that I had actually selected this for the book that was part of a series for the last bingo prompt. So I am going to be reading that, and that will, well, that's the last spin, and that comes up tomorrow. And then I also have, I finally ended up getting this. It's The Orphan Sky. I started reading this on Scribd on my phone because my iPad died, well, my tablet died, and it was a little bit difficult to read on the phone, so I ended up purchasing myself a copy, and it arrived. So I am going to endeavour to get that read. This is for the country Azerbaijan, and so I am hoping to get into this month. I'm hoping to actually start it this week, and I'm thinking that I'm going to be using this book on my sprints. And this one is one of the blurbs on here. It says a timeless story of redemption and destiny, as authentic and disturbing and brilliant as The Kite Runner. And I absolutely love The Kite Runner. And if you go back and have a look at my Read Around the World challenge, I actually read The Kite Runner for Afghanistan. So I'm hoping that this is just as good, because that's what it says on the book. I don't really know much about it. I don't really want to read about it because I like to go into my books blind. But when it said it was like The Kite Runner, I'm like, well, I love that book, so I'm going to read this one. So I'm hoping to get through this this month as well, and then I can finally finish off the A's. I have one video already filmed, and I've just got to do some B-roll for that, and then once I'm finished this one, I'll be able to do that one as well. And then I have our next round starts on the 16th of April. So I'll have another 3 books on top of that, but I don't know what they're going to be because they're from my bingo. So if you want to see what books I'm going to be reading for this second round of bingo, there is an announcement video on the channel. It has TBR. Round 2, and you can go and have a look, and there's 12 books that I'll be reading over the next 3 months, and I will talk about them during our time as I review them and all the rest of it. So that is my TBR, just my general Discord members, my bingo, and also my first time for the first semester at Orillium Academy. So I'm looking forward to doing that and having some fun and meeting some new people, because I've joined their Discord as well, and I've already been chit-chatting, and they've been absolutely fabulous in helping me, so that was exciting as well. But that is it from me today. I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Have you read any of these books that I talked about today? Don't forget to leave me a comment down below and tell me, was it a yay or nay from the book that you read? And are you also interested in any of the books that I've got up here as well? I would love to know. Short of that, leave me an emoji down below of a stack of books, and then that way I know you've made it this far. But as I said, that is it from me today. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and don't forget, keep turning those pages, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.